When I was a first-year cantorial student at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, studying in Jerusalem, some friends of mine from nearby Hebrew University were going camping for a few days in the north of Israel and asked if I'd like to join them. Despite being a self-proclaimed city girl with little camping experience since childhood, I was surprisingly motivated to go. We were a close-knit group that had become even tighter through the world events of that year. The 9/11 attacks happened within months of arriving in Israel, and it was the height of the Second Intifada, which meant an increase in terror attacks at bus stops, in neighborhood cafes, and even in the city center itself. We were weathering the storm together and had become a kind of surrogate family. But I have a confession to make apropos of Yom Kippur, our Day of Atonement. The real motivation to tag along was not quite so deep. You see, there was a cute boy. He was a friend of my friend's, and I'd heard that he'd be going on the trip. Even better, they told me he liked me too. So it looked like I was going camping. 6 of us got on a bus, something I rarely did that year due to safety concerns. A couple hours later, now up north, we stopped in a makolet, a mini grocery, to buy the food we'd need for our trip. After securing provisions, our group stuffed into a sherut, which is kind of like the precursor to the modern-day rideshare, that took us closer to the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee. I was well out of my comfort zone, and what happened next made me wonder if I had made a huge mistake. We slowly wound our way up the mountain, away from the banks of the sea and into the wilderness, when suddenly one of my friends said to the driver, "Okay, here looks good." The van stopped, and they all started to get out. Wait a minute. We weren't headed to a planned destination, a campsite, perhaps? We were just going to wander off in a strange land with very real dangers not so far away. What had I gotten myself into? We all hopped out and went further into the mountain woods by foot until we got to a clearing that was declared by my friend to be the place where we'd set up camp. I was worried, very worried, and simultaneously trying so hard to be a good sport. We began organizing ourselves. One group built a campfire and started on dinner, and another began setting up our tents. The latter group realized that they had packed enough tents for everyone, but alas, neglected to include the tent poles. So that night, we slept on our tents instead of in them. That was the night I learned just how bright a full moon can be. Since we were in a clearing on a cloudless night, it was like sleeping underneath a spotlight. Let's just say I'll never forget that camping trip. And while there was plenty that went wrong, missing tent poles, strange surroundings, and that spotlight moon, there was also something deeply grounding about it. Once there, out there, away from the chaos and the headlines of the day, we had a chance to pause, to breathe, to notice. We gathered around a fire that night, just a few friends under the stars, and something about the crackle of the flames, the quiet of the mountain air, drew us in. That simple moment by the fire stayed with me. Maybe you've had a similar experience, sitting by a campfire, watching the flames dance, and the plumes of smoke float to the sky. In Appalachia, I learned that experience is affectionately known as hillbilly TV. I laughed too when I first heard the expression. But there's something that rings true about it. The flames are so mesmerizing, and even though change is hard to see, the mini fluctuations can keep us riveted for hours. But here's the thing. How long do you imagine it would take for you to notice that your campfire was burning, but the logs weren't being consumed? 45 minutes? An hour? Longer? Let's think back to Moses and the burning bush. How long must he have been standing there watching the flames burn before noticing that it wasn't burning down? I wonder if that's part of why Moses was chosen to lead our people, despite his difficulty speaking and his own sense that he lacked traditional leadership qualities. Perhaps he had to be the kind of person who would observe, who would notice the burning bush was on fire but not being consumed. Not everybody would. Maybe most of us wouldn't. It's a miracle, yet so easy to miss. But here's the challenge. In a world filled with noise and expectations, how do we stay present enough to notice the miracles in our own lives? Earlier in the service, we chanted a series of blessings known as Nisim B'chol Yom, daily miracles. I'm realizing now we chanted them at Rosh Hashanah. We did not chant them this morning, but we did chant them last week. In them, we thank the Holy One for miracles we experience every day, like giving strength to the weary, making us free, and our ability to distinguish day from night. I've often thought about miracles, like catching a glimpse of a rainbow, or the utter amazement I feel on those rare occasions when I see a full, vibrant arc stretched from horizon to horizon. It actually happened just last week. Mesmerizing. It's a dazzling display, and as our tradition teaches, an ancient sign of hope. But its tremendous power is lost if we never know it's there because we don't lift our heads to see it. Just like Moses had to stop and turn aside to really see that bush, we too have to notice, to pause, to be intentional. Or we can miss the miracles in our own lives. It takes effort. Noticing isn't always easy. And if miracles really are all around us, why do we so often miss them? Maybe it's because we're looking in the wrong direction. Pop culture loves to tell us the best part of our life is either behind us or still ahead, but rarely now. Society often tries to set expectations for us about when our lives are supposed to feel miraculous. The myriad songs that refer to young school days as the best days of our lives, or the assumption that our wedding day or the birth of a child will be the best. And while I hope and wish those days are filled with joy for all who experience them, we know that even the most wonderful transitions can be difficult because even good change can sometimes be hard and bring challenges. I mean, think of poor Jack and Diane, whose lives go on long after the thrill of living is gone. But what if the thrill isn't gone? What if we just forgot how to look for it? What if the miracle isn't in the past, but in the present, waiting to be noticed? There's another song in which the opening line suggests to the listener that this is the best part of their life. When I was first introduced to the piece, those words gave me pause. How can those lyrics apply to everyone who's listening to the song? It didn't make sense. But then I realized I was missing the point. It's not about any one stage, age, or time being better than another. It's about seeing the miracles, noticing the rainbow, and feeling gratitude for the blessings we encounter every day. A few years ago, I joined a colleague to cover an event for the Wellbeing Center, for which we both work. The WBC is part of a large hospital system, and our work focuses on providing well-being resources for associates and their families. This particular colleague and I hadn't had an opportunity to work together prior to that event, and we didn't know each other well. Thankfully, we ended up with some time to chat and to become more familiar. During our conversation, she shared something special with me, something simple yet powerful. You might be familiar with it. It's an exercise called 3 Good Things. The general idea is at the end of each day, you take a moment to be mindful and identify 3 good things from that day, every day. Nothing is too small to count. I got out of bed can be one of the good things. Studies show that people who regularly practice 3 good things experience long-lasting benefits. This practice of mindfulness and gratitude is so powerful. It leads to increased happiness, reduction in depression, improvement in mood, enhanced emotional well-being, and even increased cognitive function. The exercise also builds resilience, as well as counteracting the brain's inherent negativity. For a simple and cost-effective intervention, this practice packs a positive punch. My partner, Michael, is a corporate pilot. He flies for 7 days at a time, and we don't enjoy being apart. While he's away, we try our best to say goodnight every day, which is not always easy with his unpredictable schedule. After I learned about 3 good things, I asked him if he'd be interested in incorporating the practice into our nightly conversations. It's been over a year since we started doing that. No matter how brief the conversation or tough the day, we close with 3 good things to encourage ourselves and each other to maintain positivity and gratitude. It isn't always easy, but it is important and has become integral to the fabric of our conversations and our relationship. We both notice the benefits of this practice and have experienced the positive effects shown in the research. It helps us to see the world and our lives in a more positive light. I enjoy sharing my day's 3 good things with Michael and hearing about his. It's a way to share more of the experience of our days apart with each other. A person can practice 3 good things on their own too. Some people like to write them down or choose to record them in a journal. Thinking back to that camping trip by the Sea of Galilee, what would my 3 good things have been that first night? It didn't rain, and we stayed dry. The weather was mild and temperate, so we were comfortable sleeping in that clearing. And I was with friends. We got through it together and went on to have an amazing trip, splashing in the Kinneret, stumbling on an international film festival that just happened to be taking place in Haifa, nearby, and experiencing one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen on the beach with that cute boy. I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back at that moment, uncomfortable, unplanned, and uncertain, it was one of the best parts of my life. My hope for all of us is that we'll have moments, many more than 3 a day, of incredible joy, celebration, and miracles throughout our lives at every stage and season. Like Moses at the burning bush, we are invited to stop, turn aside, and notice. Miracles abound. They may not be as flashy, but they're just as present. May we open our eyes, our hearts, and our souls so we can truly notice, cherish, and be transformed by them. May this season of reflection help us to open our hearts to miracles past, present, and those yet to come. And if you're wondering when the miracles will appear, maybe they already have. Maybe, just maybe, this is the best part of your life. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest, 'Suggest. 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 ' This time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a word that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret word, like a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest to you, oh, I suggest this is the best part of your life. It's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know it's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. From the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. There is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And I suggest this is the best part